Today's video will be 2 time lapses this time of slightly older artwork I've had posted for a few months now, but they were sort of suggested, requested, whatever you want to call it. Also, I will probably be switching up my upload schedule to Fridays instead of Tuesdays, just because it makes more sense to me since I currently upload once a week. Now to another note, NFTs. Non-fungible tokens, aka So the first time I heard about these was about a month or two ago when a video created by an artist named Beeple sold for $6.6 million. On Thursday, I saw a new article saying he topped that record with a digital collage, which sold for $69 million. Again, what? So to explain a little bit, because it confuses me just as much at the moment, an NFT allows you to buy and sell the ownership of unique digital items and also keep track of who owns them in a blockchain. It can technically contain anything digital: art, photos, music, gifts, items, and video games, etc. They can be one of a kind or a copy of many, like trading cards, but essentially the main point is that the blockchain is proof of the ownership. They can also be resold. On that surface level, it does seem somewhat like a positive thing. Digital artists and artists in general are so often underpaid, and many don't understand that. However, there's been a lot of protest and pushback against NFTs online, and this is kind of where my brain starts to implode on this topic. If you've been among any internet community, especially the art community, for any bit of time, you probably know there's been a big art theft issue for a while. Everyone has their own specific perspective and boundaries on the subject, and I don't want to ramble too much on that in this video, but the reason why I mention it is because NFTs are sort of opening up a Pandora's box in that regard, particularly on Twitter. The other concern people have brought up numerous times is an environmental impact. However, this isn't tied to NFTs directly as far as I've read. It's simply the byproduct of any proof of work-based cryptocurrency. The impact is minting art on blockchains uses between weeks, months, years, or, this is more rarely, decades of an average EU or US citizen's energy consumption. I'll have resources linked below that go into a little bit more detail of the whole scenario, sort of, because it covers it a lot more better than I could, and you'll probably understand it a lot more better than I do. But that's just the summary of what's going on, kind of. There was also another whole level of concern brought up, made by RJ Palmer. He's an artist on Twitter that I follow. After one of their art tweets got tokenized, they made a thread about it and brought up a good point. And it read, "The art community has been so preoccupied with art theft and copyright and NFTs. The realization that someone can attach a nude to an NFT is truly horrifying. Someone can just sell a photo of your body without permission. What do we do about that?" And to that, my body kind of responded by saying, yeesh, because it's literally terrifying, genuinely. And there's no way to cover that, because what can you do? Naturally, this has been stirring up questions as far as legalities, copyright, and how it would be disputed in court, which this clearly is something that needs to be addressed by the law everywhere, somehow, eventually. Since it is so new, though, I'm really not sure how soon that's going to happen, at least in the US. I also don't know enough to offer solutions, but I've come to the conclusion personally that NFTs as they are now are just a big no for me, and I can't encourage others to join in, as it is currently anyway, knowing just the amount of negative it brings. Under the right changes and improvements and circumstances, I could see it being a good thing, maybe eventually. But frankly, seeing as all you're really doing is buying bragging rights, I'm gonna have to agree with this tweet that says, If you want to have a pointless fancy watermark on a piece of art I made that says you specifically own it for $10,000, you can just give me $10,000 and I'll do that for you in Photoshop, and we can eliminate the whole tech bro equation, honestly. But did they lie? Nonetheless, I don't want to end this on a negative sort of note and not offer some sort of solution to protect yourself and your artwork at least. People have currently been circulating block lists of the accounts that tokenize tweets as well as those who've been associated with them, but the main one I believe is tokenized tweets. I'll pop up a list that it's like there's 4 or 5 of them, but they should be on the screen right now so you can check it. Additionally, I just want to read this thread by Jen Bartel. You should go follow her, by the way. She's an amazing artist and like one of the pros, like pro. She said, I really want to implore all artists to accept commissions to 1. Have every client sign a standard contract with terms clearly outlined. 2. Make sure that contract includes a section that unequivocally states that they do not have the right to mint an NFT of their commission. She goes on to say some people have been legitimately pushing back on this, saying that if they commission an artist, they should be able to do whatever they want with the art, and I'm here to inform you, no. Unless the artist explicitly transfers the copyright over to you, the client, it belongs to the creator of the artwork. Entertainment artists who work for an employer may do their job under a work-for-hire agreement, which grants the rights to the IP holder. If you are an individual person privately commissioning an artist, there are different types of contracts and corresponding price points you may be presented with depending on the usage/rights you are requesting for the final art. The asking rate reflects the usage. This is why a designer might charge 5 figures for a logo design, because the terms usually allow the client full rights to the design, which means the artist can never use it for their own profit again. When you pay an artist you found on the internet $50 to draw you your whatever, you aren't buying the rights to put that image on anything. You're simply paying for their time and labor. That's all. Bartel also added, the gray area here is original art. Those of you who have commissioned an artist for a traditional sketch, ink drawing, painting, etc., something you can hold in your hands, copyright does not apply to single original pieces of work, so you could resell that art if you wanted to. This is why NFTs are such a murky and disturbing area for copyright lawyers. The argument being made is a one-of-one NFT is representative of an original piece of digital art. Whether you agree or not is irrelevant. If you're an artist, you should be doing everything in your power to protect yourself from a client using your work in a damaging or unethical way. So, in other words, so basically, you should be moving to protect yourself as an artist because times are about to get very, very rough for artists, even more than they ever have been on the internet. And, we're screwed. I would say another word, but even as a 21-year-old, my mother would slap chop me for swearing.
You're gonna love my nuts.
But no, I hope this was somewhat helpful and comprehensive in a way. If nothing else, I got to ramble out some stress about this ridiculous BS-ery, so yeah. Also, if this is a follow-up the next day, if I sound weird, I'm sorry, my allergies are acting up today. I just wanted to clarify, I'm not trying to make anybody panic. I'm panicking personally just because it freaks me out, and I also have anxiety with anything new, and especially if it has any major discourse around it, like this was on Twitter. I really try to stay off Twitter for that reason, but I just wanted to make others aware and to at least provide a little bit of concern to others, because it's, you know, it's valid and it's worth knowing at least. So generally just take everything in this video with a grain of salt, and you can form your own opinions about it. And of course, if any of you have helpful links, feel free to comment below. Maybe comment what it's about a little bit, just so it's a little bit more evident that it isn't spam or something. Hopefully by now we have come to the end of this video. Again, I have a Patreon, so if you'd like to have access to some exclusive art as well as bragging rights to being my patron, head on over there. Here are my current lovely patrons' names who deserve every world out there, except this one because it kind of stinks, especially with this, but you know what I mean, hopefully. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.